Welcome to the Malted Minis, brought to you by the Malting Hour. I am one of your, and now that we're finishing this up, I finally have this down to a science. I am one of your hosts, Tony Golick, joined always with
Brandon Winninger.
And according to my screen to his right.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to read
Jesus.
something.
No. What?
Dan.
How does that make sense?
/ Danny.
Dan, if we're going through the introductions, what would I be reading?
My name on my picture. Which was
Dan,
supposed to be making fun of you.
Jesus, this is... I wish Clark was here. Anyway, welcome to our third and, final for January of our Malted Minis. Here's a little disclosure. We've done these all back to back for January. So this almost could be an after the final pour because I don't know how long we're going to last on this. But Brandon, you provided this beer, much like last beer. Dan, when are you going to provide a beer other than the Tampa beers? I mean, come on. Oh, and then also those barrel-aged stouts and some of those sours. Never mind. Brandon, shut up, Dan. Shut up. Oh, shit. Here comes Brandon with his description.
No, we are drinking Logboat Brewing Company's Space Junk India Pale Ale. And I'm going to read the quick description here. So this is a Missouri brew. It's only available in Missouri. Thank you to my wife for picking it up when she went down to her homecoming for Mizzou.
Wait a minute. She went to her homecoming dance and you were not invited?
Correct.
Doesn't she, you go to a homecoming and you bring your boyfriend with you?
Yep, pretty much.
Oh, no, dude. You should look into that.
Space Junk was created with our good friends Beth Bombars and her band in response to Beth's 52-week songwriting project. Sabro, Idaho 7, and Azacca Cryo hops helped create a citrus-forward yet bold IPA. Whether you're writing performing music or vibing with buds at a show, Space Junk will help clear your mind.
Okay. Elephant in the room for me. Dan, I brought this up before. Brandon, you gave us 3 beers from this brewery, correct?
I don't know. Were they all the same brewery?
I think so. The design on the can looks the same. I might be wrong, but this was the lower, I think, of the ABVs and not a stout because you gave us a coffee stout, a double IPA, and then this one. So Space Junk is also the title of a Wang Chung song, which if you watch The Walking Dead, it's in the very first episode. At the end of the first episode, when Rick is in the tank and Glenn calls him and he said, "Hey, dumbass, yeah, you in the tank." And then this song starts playing. So I'm wondering if that had anything to do with it. I mean, what is that? What was that noise? Dan, what are you doing?
I was trying to look up this Beth person.
This Beth lady. But I wonder if that has anything to do with it. I don't know. I just to me in my head, when I hear Space Junk, that's the song I think of. Because I have this tendency of when I watch TV shows or movies, if I hear a song and I'm interested in it, right away I either use my phone to find it or I go online and look it up. And there's a lot of songs in my giant Spotify playlist that is from that. So that's why I was happy about this beer. It's called Space Junk. And you know what? It's a pretty decent Wang Chung song. And if you're Dan, according to him, Wang Chung is a poor man's Talking Heads, which, as much as I want to be mad about it, he is not wrong. But this is not the music podcast. Maybe one day that'll happen. If you want to get music and beer, you got to go follow Dan Hip _ hops on the social media. Brandon, what are you getting off this beer aroma wise?
Smell it. It's I'm gonna go with dank. It's got that dank smell. And like a strong, it does have a strong citrus aroma. I've had this before,
like citrus aroma, like fresh fruit, or like
I'm getting I think more pith.
Yeah, that's what I was getting.
I'm getting some it seems like a mix of like orange grapefruit, something along those lines.
There's a little like lime and lemon zest from it too, but more on the orange grapefruit.
Yeah, but it's a really good mix. It smells fantastic. And like I said, I've had this before, and I really enjoyed it. That's kind of the reason that I ended up throwing up those 3 beers for you guys.
You
2
threw them
reasons
up
really.
and puked all over the place with them.
2 reasons actually. One was I was like, okay,
Thanks for chuckling.
These are good beers. I've actually had all of them.
I was gonna
and
say,
they're all
have you
really
been to
good
the
beers.
brewery?
I have not.
Okay.
And I don't even think my wife stopped at a liquor store and she was like, I'm looking for something local. As she does, and she'll tell people like, hey, my husband's got a podcast and they talk about beer. And so so I got these, and the Space Junk was one that I really enjoyed, and I thought that you guys would like it too. So but like I said, the aroma on it is fantastic. I really enjoy it. Yeah. So if we want to have Dan talk about the aroma.
Yeah, Dan, what are you, as much as I don't like talking to you, Dan, what are you getting on the aroma before we get into the taste?
It is like, so I get like I almost get like a mixture of like a hazy and like an old school IPA. Like I'm like, it smells kind of like both. Like it's a tropical.
I got
like
that as soon as I cracked it open and poured it in my glass. I was like, man, this kind of smells like a hazy, but unintentional.
But it doesn't smell like sometimes you smell hazies and it smells sweet. Like I'm not getting that. Like it's like, it's good.
Yeah, that
It
like
smells
in
good.
in the hazy, I do feel like like if they're using lactose or something along those lines, like the sugars in that are very prominent in the nose.
And this is no hazy IPA. This is a, I mean, there's like a little haze to it, but I mean,
not clear.
Yeah, but it's not
milky.
it's not a hazy IPA.
Super candle wax or whatever.
It looks like a not, I don't know how big this brewery is, but like a smaller brewery's IPA that maybe they're not like filtering it and clearing out everything. It looks like a good IPA.
A slightly lighter. I feel like I'm trying to think of like Anti-Hero. I feel like it's like maybe a little darker than this.
Yeah, it's not a super dark beer. It's got like a nice golden hue to it. Because some IPAs lean more towards like the darker amber side. This looks like an orange beer.
Yeah.
I get same thing like you guys. I get the citrusy, like I said, Brandon, you were mentioning like orange, like a little bit of pith. I get a little grapefruit, maybe a little lime or lemon. But also when I first opened it up, there was like this aroma that I got from like a hazy IPA that was going to be like super juicy. Now, taste wise, which I'll start with, there's a sweetness to it that I like, that I do enjoy from, I don't know if this is considered a West Coast IPA. It's just because it's not like, doesn't have that like piney bitterness, but it reminds me of like a cool, yeah, I'm using cool as a descriptor, like a cool, newer IPA before we went all brute IPA and hazy IPA, because there's a sweetness to it, but also I'm getting more citrusy fruit from it, not so much pine. There's not a heavy bitterness to it. The sweetness to it is nice, but it's not like cloyingly sweet, and it's not like a candied sweet.
It's a malty sweetness.
Yeah, and it's as much as I don't like using it, but fuck, it is a nice balance between the bitterness and the sweetness here. I really do. Yeah. This is, man, going back in for like the aroma and a sip. It is really nice, and the lacing on my glass is
it's a good beer.
It's a really good beer.
When I looked at the description and I saw Sabro, Idaho 7, and Azacca, which the reason I know it's Azacca is because Maplewood did a Azacca Morris beer like a long time ago.
Zach Morris is trash.
There's actually a conspiracy theory.
Thank you. There's also an actual series on Amazon Prime if you want to watch it. Zach Morris is a piece of shit, and they're not wrong.
Agreed. Anyway, so no, these are all like new school,
thanks, Dan.
Like cool boy hops, like hype beast hops.
Well, especially Sabro. Sabro is one that the first time I had Sabro was from Alarmist, and I didn't care for it. I think it was like a Les Jus with Sabro.
Oh,
and
yeah.
more and more that I've had Sabro, it's like a woodiness, coconut, almost like hop. And when it's done correctly, it can taste really, really good. And Azacca I've had as well. I've used Azacca before, but having those, and you said Idaho 7 is the other one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like those are like all like,
new school.
Yeah, new school, like big name IPAs, but doing this beer with those 3 hops correctly, I feel like this is done really, really well. Like not there's not a single hop to me that stands out specifically. Everything again is pretty well balanced. Like
Yeah.
it's just a nice drinking. I think it would even please like those hazy boys out there. As you know, there's crispy boys, there's hazy boys, and there's pastry. What about the women? Like, why is it all boys? Why is it always like crispy boys, hazy boys, pastry boys, shit like that? Just
And
like
just
people.
I want to note that that's BOIZ.
Yes, exactly. Say that. I mean, crispy boys is BOYZ. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Pastry boys, I think, is the I. But like this is a type of IPA that I think will please both old school IPA fans and new school like hazy IPA fans as well. It's kind of like a
100%
nice
agree.
it's kind of like a nice middle ground between hazy and old school, and just I don't know. It's Brandon, you knocked this one out of the park with grabbing this one, man. This is
Yeah.
really, really good. I'm glad this is their last beer of the night too, because that last one really kind of knocked me on my ass.
I'm looking here real quick. So
There's a lot of
sorry,
go ahead.
I was just so the brewery itself, they broke ground in 2013 for their brewery. So they've been around a little bit, but I was looking at their where they distribute, and it's basically like the middle of Missouri up. Like there's a couple counties in the north that don't get it, but it's like not even in southern Missouri at all.
So very like hyper local.
Yeah.
What? So funnily enough, I not even funnily enough.
I love that you use funnily still. That is my favorite word that you use.
I did a quick check. I was curious because the name of the brewery is familiar, and I was like, just out of chance, were they at Great American Beer Festival? And they weren't. Shockingly, there's some pretty decent breweries in Missouri. I think that I've brought back some beers from Missouri that have been really good, but they've never. There was nothing from Missouri at
what
Great
was
American
the
Beer Festival
when you did the? So correct me if I'm wrong, because I know there's a Kansas City in Kansas and then a Kansas City, Missouri. Correct? Am I wrong about that?
Yep,
when we did the Kansas City beer episode, was that Kansas City, Kansas, or Kansas City, Missouri?
I don't think I made a distinguishing anything.
If anybody heard that gargle, by the way, that was my stomach because it's so upset of the.
What breweries was it? Was it like Boulevard? Because like Boulevard's in Missouri.
We've never done Boulevard.
No, wait, Boulevard's in Missouri? I thought Boulevard was in Kansas.
No, it's in Missouri.
I went to my friend,
I don't know the difference. You
guys have met him, but the other Danny, he lived in Olathe, which is
much cooler than you.
Much cooler, Danny.
Wait, how long did he live there for?
He was in Olathe for 2 or 3 years. I don't even know. But we went and visited them, and like I went to a bunch of breweries.
That's where Emil lives, I think.
Missouri. The what?
A mutual friend of ours lives there now in Olathe.
Yeah,
Emil.
Hey,
what's up, Emil? Emil's on episode number 2 of the podcast.
Was it just number 2?
I think so. That was the Bourbon County episode, and maybe another one. I don't know. Anyway, this beer is, man. As we're doing these malted minis, 3 of them for this month in January, and they might pop up again during the rest of this year. This might be my favorite beer of the night that we had. As I said, these 3 weeks we've done these malted minis, but we've recorded them all in one night. This is really good. This is like a fantastic IPA. It really hits everything that I want from an old school and new school IPA.
Agree 100%.
Like it's Sabro is I feel like Sabro is very tough to use. I've had some Sabro beers that weren't good. I've had some Sabro beers that were very good. I've had some Idaho 7 beers that were really good. I've used Azacca myself, and I've also had some Azacca beers as well that were also really tasty. But I mean, overall, this beer, like, man, Brandon, next time you guys head down there, if you head down to Missouri, because I know you're going to Kansas, but if you stop in Missouri, and if it's in Kansas, still don't know the difference. I do know the difference. dude, grab some more of this, or grab more of the beers from them, because this is fantastic. This is really good. This is
Yeah,
awesome.
I'll be curious to see what you guys think of the other ones. Those are for
Yeah.
you guys to try whenever.
Well, I'm pretty sure that they are also the same brewery. At least one of them might be. I think
One
the
of them
double.
definitely is.
Yeah.
The double
And
IPA is.
I might do the coffee stout separately, but if you guys are down, maybe we save the at least one or two between the three of us double IPAs
Yeah,
to
one of them
do
is this
all four of
morning
us.
hoot.
Yeah, get off the mic, Dan. Get back up from the mic. Yeah, let's save the double IPA. Thank you. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Let's save the double IPA for February. Maybe all four of us can try that. Because my plan, by the way, for January, because
Whoa.
okay, on.
They made a beer
Dan's
for
got
Tony.
something. What is it called? I can't see that. I can't read
Jerk
it.
alert.
It's really hurtful.
Amateur.
It's really hurtful. Really. But fitting. He's not wrong. Jerk alert, it's me. My plan, by the way, so Brandon and I are also doing the same thing, and I talked to Clark, and I think Clark is scaling back as well. As we get towards the end of 2022, there's a lot of beer going on, and this year we got to go to a whole bunch of festivals. I just feel like I just drank so much beer, and there's so many barrel-aged beers that last year I didn't do it, but this year I am fully doing dry January. But with that being said, each week, like I normally would, if I go someplace and maybe buy a beer from a brewery, or go to Beer on the Wall or Bottles and Cans or any local like single can shop, I think throughout the month of January, this month, as we're rounding out, and I hope I followed through with this, that maybe each weekend I buy a couple beers and build up a stash, like a big, like, not a total big amount, but like when we get into February, let's do like we bought local beers from Illinois, because it is a tough time for local breweries. Because a lot of people do dry January, they cut back on alcohol, but there's no, I mean, it's a great idea. It's a great idea to cut back on alcohol if you want to do that. But also you got to support local businesses. So why not still purchase it and then have a chance to like drink it throughout the next couple of months as well? So there's no reason not to purchase from these breweries. So that is my plan, starting at the beginning of January, as now we're at the end of January with this episode coming out. I am hoping to have accumulated a handful of beers, and then in February, maybe if you guys want to do the same thing, grab a couple of random beers or whatever. Whether Dan, I don't think you drink like I do, so I don't think you're doing a dry January. But if you guys want to grab some random beers, maybe in February we just kind of do like a January stockpile episode of local beers.
Yeah, I have a bunch I can already do that with. So that sounds
Okay,
good.
well, Dan's
I was
better
gonna
than
say,
Tony as usual.
No, I was gonna say I'm going to the Dominican, so I'm gonna be on that rum January.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
Dan's on the rum. Oh, good. So you can come back with some cocktails.
Bring back some rum.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, what would you get? What would you guys get? As someone who's not familiar with cocktails like myself, you're going to a Caribbean island area type thing. What are you going for?
It's like Mai Tais and
Mai
yeah,
Tais?
yeah. I'm not a big rum drinker, but I did have eggnog around Christmas, and they didn't have.
I'm not going to drink eggnog on the beach, Tony.
I mean, it's not a terrible idea. It's just kind of like a dessert. It's not a terrible idea.
You may get to the beach and it's snowing. You never know.
Oh, who knows? Global warming. It's real. Don't be a loser and deny it. Dan, come on. Environmentalist. You're our guy. I don't know, man. I don't know many rum cocktails, but I would imagine that they would have plenty lined up for you report back to us that are fantastic.
Daiquiris, who knows?
But in all seriousness, I hope everybody is out there supporting their local breweries if you are doing dry January.
I know this is late, but I think you guys shared this. Was it Illinois Craft Beer that's doing the like $50 gift certificate if you do this hashtag?
Correct. And then that's kind of what motivated me more so to kind of be vocal about it, because I thought it was a good idea to just be able to, like, why not just still buy local and stash in my fridge? I mean, my birthday and Clark's birthday and the Super Bowl are all happening in February. So there's plenty,
And Valentine's Day.
I guess.
And Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, that's the big one. Old Abe Lincoln. We got to get those Illinois beers going and rolling.
Go.
We got to do an Abe Lincoln episode. The big.
Oh, that would have been perfect. I need to get some Springfield beers, but I'm not going to Springfield.
Well, then your last comment was pointless.
So,
But anyways,
no, quick
sorry.
quick point to Dan's drink thing.
Thank you.
You're in the area. You're not on the island. So Dominican Republic is like mixed half. The other half is Haiti, right?
Right.
Oh boy. But another island closer there is Cuba, and they are known for their mojitos. So maybe a mojito would be appropriate.
I do love. Yeah, mojitos are rum. I do love a good mojito, white rum.
By the way, my wife Laura does a good mojito in the summer over here. So
I have made mojitos because we have a
mojitos, mint. Got to grow the mint, man. The mint smells so good in the yard. It's fantastic. But our tangent here, wrapping up our January episode of the Malted Minis. Brandon, this beer was fantastic. Very, very good. A nice representation of some modern hops and not making it a beer that might be off-putting people. It's actually a beer, like I said, it's a beer that I think would bring old school IPA and new school hazy IPA and everybody in between together to enjoy. This is
modern hops with an old school feel.
Ooh, Dan with the smooth description. If we're going to describe this off of hops out of 5 hops, Brandon, we're going with you first, buddy.
I'm going 4 hops.
What did you like about it?
I love the aroma. I do love the body, the malt feel. Everything just kind of blends perfectly. And even the taste, I'm getting that citrus. I'm getting that slight hop bitterness. It's not overly bitter. It's easy drinking. Even though, like, what is this one? 6.5%. I will say it does drink probably like a 6.5% beer, but it feels like it would almost be heavier, which I enjoy about that because I feel like I'm getting more, but I'm not getting as drunk. And I've finished my pour.
I'm almost there, and the beer before the last episode is still sitting in a glass over there.
I drank more.
I already got mine.
Yeah, I drank more.
So you're going 4 hops on this, right?
Yep.
Also, if you get a chance to get more of this, I think we just collectively let us know and we'll all throw money your way and buy some. Dan, out of 5 hops, and tell us your description.
So I'm gonna go 4.25.
Ooh,
I really like this beer. I get like a certain. I know I said it earlier, but like that new school hops, old school feel, but it's not real bitter like an old school. But I get like a effervescence about it that's almost like minty. Like
ooh, interesting.
In the mid sip, it's like this like effervescent like refreshingness to it.
That's them really new school hops, buddy.
Yeah, that's what it is, man. I dig it.
4.25. 4.25. Yeah, I think
4.25 cryo hops. I'll just put a little.
Oh wow. Yeah, Dan, I think I'm gonna lean more on the 4.25 as well. And since we're not totally going on the untapped scale, I think I might go like 4.3, 4.4. Just because as far as a new school IPA, what are you gonna say, Dan?
Tipping on fofos.
That's my guy right there. Yeah, I think it's really like, did you just hit your tooth with that again? Like that was
I was anxious to make the Mike Jones joke and I hit my tooth.
The classic Dan hitting his tooth with a glass, and we got the drum roll. Yeah, I think this is like a 4.4 for me because it's just it's so good. It's so good. This is up there with some of my favorite newer IPAs. I would put this up there with Rheingeist's Truth IPA, which I think is one of the best IPAs.
Fantastic fucking beer.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite IPAs. And there's a lot of great like local IPAs, but if this was available here, man, Chicago, talking to all you Chicago breweries, you guys would have your work cut out for you because this kind of like, this is a nice change up of not wanting hazy, but getting a little bit of that new school kind of citrus, and not wanting like super bitter, but still getting that maltiness with a hint of bitterness without it being too sweet. I mean, this might be too early to say, you guys, but I'm going to say it right here, right now. You ready? Mark my words, Dan. This is one of my Maltese possibly for 2023. This is a fantastic IPA.
It's a good surprise. I mean,
it is. It really is.
College Town Brewery.
I didn't know what I was expecting. I was expecting just like a run of the mill IPA, and this is hitting a lot for me. So this is pretty fantastic. Brandon, you done well, son. You done well.
I do what I do.
All right, guys, this is going to wrap up our, I got to go back to it, the Malted Minis for January. Thanks for listening to these shorter episodes while we're just kind of taking a break because, man, 2022 was just so much fun and we needed a break. But yeah, we're looking forward to what 2023 brings. Who knows? There might be another mystery beer episode. There might be other festivals we go to. There might be, well, there for sure be other breweries we go to. But new ideas. Who knows? These multi-minis are brand new, and we're going to have more of them, most likely, because it doesn't really fall under the after the final pour category.
And I know we did our brew year's resolutions.
I mean, it's the end of January by the time this is coming out, but go ahead, man.
That's what I'm saying.
So you got to remember this. You got to remember this. Look, fucking Brandon right now is looking like Professor X. He is focusing. He's in your mind. What are you about to say, Dan?
I was going to say, as a podcast as a whole, like, I think that, like, interviewing more brewers and stuff like that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, I
feel like we did a lot in the last year that I've been a part of it.
I got to be honest. I feel like we're in line for some special stuff for 2023, especially with breweries, maybe some new locations, maybe some new breweries we haven't talked to. And, you know, we might be brewing a beer with somebody. We might be doing a live episode. There's a lot happening for 2023. So it's nice that we're starting off the year this way. Just kind of chill, drinking this fantastic IPA. You might hear it. My kittens are playing upstairs. They can hear me. They can hear me. All right, Dan. Hey, man, go listen to more Wang Chung and go fucking watch The Breakfast Club.
I could just listen to the Talking Heads.
All right, well, at least go watch The Breakfast Club then.
All right, I will.
Okay,
that's your assignment.
That's your assignment. I swear to God, in February, you better like we're recording this in December, so like you've got 2 months now to watch.
I will bring the DVD to your house tomorrow.
We don't have 2 months.
You've got a month. You've got a month. Okay. You've got a month. Download it on your phone.
I don't know.
Just buy it for $5 from YouTube and just stream it to your phone, man.
Or I will bring you the DVD.
Dang, big money.
Big money. I hate you so much. I miss Clark. God, I can't wait for Clark to come back. Brandon, I love you, buddy.
It's on Prime.
Love you too, bud.
On Prime.
Oh, shit. Anyways, Brandon, I love you, man.
Love you too, bud.
All right, we'll see you guys later. Happy January. Here comes February. I can't wait to see when blank team faces blank team in the Super Bowl for our next
Green Bay
Super Bowl. That's, oh my God. I'm calling it right now. As this right now, we're recording this in December. Green Bay is not in the Super Bowl.
We need the Commanders to lose one game and win our next two. So fingers crossed.
But then there's the playoff.
Not going to be in the Super Bowl.
The Bears, they have the first overall draft. This is not a football podcast. This is it. All right, bye, everybody. See you later. Love you. Bye. This has been The Malting Hour. Be sure to follow us on all social media by searching The Malting Hour and at themaltinghour.com. You can also follow us individually on social media. Brandon can be found on Instagram as BMDub81, on Twitter, BDub81, and on Untapped as BDubDrinksBeer. Tony can be found on Instagram and Untapped under Ace of Help Chicago, on Twitter, The Ace of Help Chicago. Clark can be found as Clarkowski on all three. Dan can be found on Instagram as hip__hops and hip hops on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe, like, and rate the show on your preferred podcast listening platform. Until next time, cheers from all of us at The Malting Hour.